Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Mystic Syndicate and the ambassadors to the Barbarian King's homebrew campaign using Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. I'm your Dungeon Master, Brian Anderson, and with me, as always, are our intrepid group of adventurers.
Hi, I'm Apton, playing Cleric. Wow. Let's try it again. Hi, I'm
Start
Shane,
it off right.
playing Cleric. A mouseful cleric named Apton.
That was great.
I'm not drunk, you're drunk.
I'm Eric. I'm playing Clapton.
Oh my
I'm
God.
Christy, playing Athena, the shifter.
I'm Ricky, playing Armos, the sorcerer. That was good. That was good.
That was great.
I'm Clapton, playing Eric.
And just after Ricky said to everybody, he said, "Okay, is everybody ready? They know what they're gonna say." And
Remember the
Shane,
intros?
yeah, everybody got their intros ready.
I was
Well,
there, just a little mismatched.
Hey, it's
Well, we got
okay.
Look, man, I'm still traumatized from last week, alright? Don't judge me.
Oh yes, last week. Do we have any volunteers to go over the recap of last week's interesting?
Sure. I'll give it a go.
Everybody's dead. Back to you.
We were minding our own business before our DM tried to blow us up. That was fun. It did a lot of damage. I died, but saved myself from the grave. Zathia got one to the head. Boom, she was dead. And then Sailor Moon showed up. Or no. The Moon Witch lady showed up. Can you imagine? Transform! Yeah, she showed up, used her pearl in the hat for the thing, and saved Zathia. And we saved the city from burning down. Yeah.
Okay, that was okay.
That was something.
That was something. It was a good attempt at a recap. Okay, so yes, very good, very good. Thanks, Ricky.
Sailor Moon.
Who wrote this script?
Sailor Moon. Yeah, that's right. So no, okay. So that's the recap given to us by Ricky of last week's interesting and somewhat traumatizing session. And so today we open up with episode 12 of our adventure. And so that means, you know what that means, guys, right? After tonight?
We die?
No, gosh. Man, you all are just for sure. I'm just going to wipe you out today, huh? No.
After tonight, we go to episode 14.
What?
No.
You've got to skip 13. You can't have 13.
Oh, no, we're having 13. That's happening.
Yeah. All
No.
rolls are at a disadvantage.
You get to level up.
Ooh! Dun, 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 dun.
Right, exactly. That's pretty nice.
If he doesn't kill you first.
If he doesn't kill you. That's right. There you go. So before we get started, I'd like to thank everybody who joined us in the chat. It is wonderful to have you, and we're glad to see that our reach is getting out there. Been talking to a lot of interesting and fun people this past week. So I'd like to thank them for dropping by and saying hello to us. And if you like what you see, make sure to follow us. Get us closer to. I guess we need a 50. I think we need 50 or something like that to become affiliated. Which I'm still not too sure how that all works. I'm still just trying to figure out how Streamlabs works. So
That's right, I'm still trying to figure out how life works.
yeah, I'm almost in my mid 50s and still doing that stuff. Like going, man, when is it supposed to get cool? Never.
Crap.
That was when I was in my 20s, obviously. So
I guess when space travel starts happening, then life will be cool.
yeah, space travel. Yeah.
Woo.
See, the only space travel I'm going to get is if I get abducted by aliens.
Again.
Again. Okay. So definitely thank you, chat folks, for coming on and being with us today. Like to point out that our maps are created by Anna B. Meyer, who is a fantasy cartographer, and she has graciously allowed us to use her maps on our stream. So make sure to check her out at annabmeyer.com. Check her out and also take a look at her Patreon page. She's got a lot of good stuff over there, so please do. Okay, so you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's what I like. That's what I like to hear.
So we were still kind of in triage, right?
Yes, you were actually sort of trying to finish up what was going on in the market square.
We didn't talk to the witch doctor.
No, you didn't get a chance to talk with her because she had fell unconscious after she used the moonstone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Exactly. So while you all are going around trying to pick up the pieces and trying to help as many people as you possibly can, some are right now heading over to the Armored Badger Inn, are trying to bring people out, trying to set it up so that people who are okay are able to at least come in and maybe get something to drink, or if they need water from the well, they can get all that good stuff so that they can tend to the wounded.
Okay.
So right now you all, like I said, are in the marketplace. It's still kind of smoky from the fire from the inn next door to the Armored Badger, the Starshine, which had caught fire. So it's still a little bit chaotic, but you all have this feeling that things are going to be better. You just have an overall feeling that you don't see any other things like this, a terrorist attack happening anytime soon.
It's an illusion. I choose to disbelieve.
Well, I mean, you could roll for that.
I'll still be controlling flames and making them disappear as I can see.
Okay, that's good.
60-foot range, so.
Good. Well, like I said, most of this was confined to the marketplace area and those two inns.
Gotcha.
So you do not have to, it's not like you have to walk far afield to make sure that nothing is burning down or the rest of the city isn't in flames.
Okay.
So
Were there just two things that blew up?
No, there was one in the Armored Badger Inn. The other one was in the Starshine Inn, right next door to yours. And then there were two in the actual market square. So there were 4 total explosions.
All right. So I guess I'll look at my comrades and ask them what they would like to do as a next step. Would you hang around and wait for this witch to wake up and ask her some questions, or?
We should put her in a bed so she's comfortable
Yeah.
and not
That's
just
usually
laying
my
on the
job.
ground.
That's usually your job.
Put her
Yeah,
in a bed alone.
Yeah, we caught that. Okay.
Got it. Okay. Not unconscious. Got it.
Right.
Bad.
It's called
You have to.
it's called
Gotta ask her
consent,
if she
man.
wants some tea.
Yeah, gotta ask her if she wants tea. That's right.
It's medieval times, baby. Tea is tea, man. It just happens.
That's great.
So yeah. So you guys do want to talk to her when she wakes up?
I mean, there's no real point in us moving forward just yet.
Okay. So we'll tend to her and Zathia as well.
Okay, so where are you going to take the witch?
That's
Well,
a good question, because that inn is gone.
I'm sure we could go to the Temple of Cord and find arrangements there.
Maybe if the temple isn't attacked, I'm okay with that.
Well, of course, you could always use the Armored Badger. It wasn't like the Armored Badger caught on fire. It was just the Starshine next door, and it was only the dining room area that had sustained damage.
Gotcha. I thought like the roof was
Oh no,
blown
no,
off the place.
no! It didn't like flatten the building. No.
Oh, okay.
I just don't know how well that's going to go for the kids having to be in the. I mean, a little traumatic already.
Well, right now,
Well.
for the most part, Alistair has Jorith and Zathia, so it's not like they're running loose or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Take the
Yeah.
witch in, put her in my bed, and we'll wait for her to wake up.
That sounds good to me.
Okay. So yeah, you go ahead and so Armos, are you the one who's tasked, or is Christina going to just throw her over her shoulder and?
Yeah, I'm not very strong, so
Okay.
I would let
I'll
the
take
strong
her. I'm
one-
good at moving bodies, apparently.
Exactly. Dead or alive. Or unconscious.
Hey, that works. Okay, so yes, you go ahead and
2 or
pick up.
4-legged.
Yeah, you pick up the witch and you move through the destroyed bottom layer of the armored badger. You make it to the stairs. I'd like for you to make a perception
Not
check.
intelligence. Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, just perception. Not an intelligence.
Not an intelligence check. Please no.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, you're more preoccupied of trying to get this woman up the staircase than actually noticing anything else around you. So it's not like it's you don't seem to be missing anything. So you get up to your room, you open the door, and you place her on the cot that is your bed. And what are the rest of you all doing?
I was probably going to follow him up to try and.
Okay.
I was going to be with Zathia and her father.
Okay. All right. So Athena and Apton, you all are sitting with the witch, who is still unconscious, and Armos, are you? What are you doing at this time?
So the witch was elvish in appearance, right?
Yes, she's
Okay.
She appears to be an elf.
We don't know the language she was speaking. I was gonna see if I could maybe find a translator of sorts. If everything is okay with Zathia and her father, then I would find somebody.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, you approach them. They seem to be, right now they're sitting on a stone bench across from the inn. And you can see they're in an embrace. He's keeping them close, and he's, trying to calm them down. So Zathia, for the most part, does not remember what actually happened. All she now sees is what had transpired after the explosions. So that's kind of what
So
she is dealing with.
Is her and her brother, are they in a panic?
Her brother is very confused. She seems to be maybe not really in a panic, but upset about what she is seeing. And that's why Alistair is trying to kind of protect them from that and trying to talk to them and calm them so that they are not so adversely affected by the carnage which they are actually seeing.
Right. If she was like kicking and screaming from like PTSD, I would offer to have her forcefully slept, but if she's not in that panicked state, I'm not gonna deal with it.
Yeah.
If they're okay.
Yeah, they're fine. You don't need to put the kids to sleep.
I mean, it would be, advantageous if they're
Hospital
like,
Armos.
"What?" They're like screaming their heads off, and it's like,
Yeah. No. It's while other people are losing their minds, the kids are actually somewhat trying to keep it together, but being that their father is there to help them rally, it's not so hard for them.
Okay.
They're being comforted.
So I'll look around for somebody of elvish appearance, maybe.
There are a few elves here. So you are able to see that there is a cleric of Pelor who is just finishing up casting a healing spell on a young gnome, and he stands up, and as he's about ready to, he's pretty much walking towards you.
I'll approach him and ask him if he can help diagnose one of my friends. She passed out shortly after reviving someone else. She's of elvish appearance. None of us speak her language.
He looks you over very quickly, and he says, of course, show me where the young lady is.
I'll walk up to the inn, go inside, and show him the way.
Good. Okay. So you walk in, and just as you walk in, you see the eyes of the elven woman sort of, her green eyes flutter open, and she blinks to focus, and she starts to try to set up and look around the room. She looks over and she sees that you brought her staff and her hat, and sitting in the windowsill watching all of this is the big buff colored owl that seems to be traveling with her.
Oh, wow.
So
it doesn't speak, does it?
Not that you know of.
Okay.
So the priest of Pelor is standing there and says, "So, what is it that she seems to be? She seemed to have gained her composure. Is there anything else you need me to do?"
Well, I'll ask her in common if she speaks common.
She looks at you and smiles and says, yes, I do."
Oh, okay. Then I'll look back at the cleric and say, no further assistance needed, and all of your efforts out there are greatly appreciated, and you should continue doing that.
He thanks you, and he says, "Well, I'm glad that she seems to be in good health." And he turns and he waves goodbye, and he leaves the room. She throws her feet over the side of the bed and starts to just sort of straighten her dress. The owl actually comes through the window, through the blown out window, and sits on the edge of the, I guess it'd be sort of a bedpost.
Mm-hmm.
And so she reaches over for her hat, and she says, "Well, thank you so much for bringing me inside. The girl, she's okay?"
Yes, she's doing well. A little distraught, but I believe some thank you for you and your work is in order, and we are greatly appreciative of everything you did for her.
She smiles and says, "Well, I'm glad I was here and was able to help."
Did I know about the lore of the witch that they only usually use the pearls on people who have I guess they're like a set point in time,
A greater purpose.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. I believe you had a pretty decent skill check score on that, because I think you were the only one who kind of knew a little bit about moon maidens.
Okay.
So
I'm
you're
gonna ask her. Not to be impolite, but do you know what this young girl's greater purpose is supposed to be?
she looks at you and says, "Unfortunately, that is not information that is given to me when I use a pearl. I'm just told that there is a person in need, and once I receive that message," and she looks over at the owl there, says, "When Moon Talon tells me that there is someone in need, I rush to that area as fast as I possibly can."
Oh.
So she says, "Unfortunately, now I have to wait till the next full moon to get a new stone, or a new pearl, actually."
Well, the stone was well used on this beautiful young girl. She has a very bright future ahead of her, indeed.
She says, "Well, I'm glad to hear that. I hope that is totally true. I'm sure it is. Or if that was the case, that she was not destined for greater and wonderful things, then I'm sure my patron would not have sent me."
Well, she could play one song on her lute, and you would be astonished.
She says, "Well, I hope I get a chance to do that."
Awesome.
So,
What is your name?
Oh, my name is Lunara. Lunara Sun's Silver Sun.
Lunara, nice to meet you. I am Armos. These are my companions, Athena and Cleric Apton.
She says, "It's wonderful to meet you all." And said, "And this right here is Moon Talon. He is my extremely good friend, and we have been extremely good friends for close to 90 years now."
Oh, wow.
Yes.
He's very beautiful.
Yeah. Kind of strange for an owl to live 90 years, but I am very fortunate.
Ah, yes. If you'd like, we could go check on her. Zathia is her name.
She says, "I would like that." And so she stands up, and yes, she's very tall. And she places her hat on her head and grabs her staff, and Moon Talon flies out the window. And she's a little unsteady at first. As a matter of fact, as she takes a couple of steps, it almost looks like she is ready to fall down. Maybe she was moving a little too fast.
I'm gonna nudge Athena to assist Lunara.
Yeah. Athena, if you will make a reflex save, a dexterity save. See if you catch her before she goes down. Wow, very good. Yeah. Okay.
Boom.
Yeah, very good. So yeah, you're able to you actually anticipate her need, and you reach over and steady her as she gains the use of her staff, which helps steady her further. And you all proceed down into the devastation, which is the dining room of the Armored Badger. As she comes down the stairs, she's immediately overcome by the carnage below, and you see her kind of stop and look around. She's like, "Oh my gosh, this is horrible." And she looks over and she plucks one of the crystal shards out of the banister of the staircase. And she looks at it and she says, and she hands it to you, Armos, and you look at it as well. And I need you to roll a investigation check.
Alrighty.
You don't seem to understand why or what she's implying, but she looks at it and says, "It's interesting that it has such a bright color. I don't understand."
Don't they turn black after a little while, right?
I don't know. I've never seen anything like this. And now, if you do another, all of you do an investigation check, you start looking at the other shards that are sticking in the woodwork around you.
I'll tell her the one that she pulled from Zathia, that one turned black upon you completing the ritual.
She says, that is very puzzling. She says,
and I'll keep watching this one to see if it does the same thing too.
Mm-hmm. She says, that is very strange. She said, do you have any other pieces that were pulled from other people?
I'll have a look around.
Okay. You do look upon some of the dead who are scattered around on the bottom floor of the tavern. And you see that all of them, if you brush away or wipe away the blood from them, they all are light colored.
Light blue, right?
Yeah, lightish blue. Some of them are almost a white in color.
So, what does this mean exactly?
She's not really too sure. Maybe you could make an arcane knowledge check.
That's what I'm good at.
Yeah, you are. Very nice. So you sit there and ponder this a couple of minutes, Armos. No, Athena, unfortunately today your arcane knowledge check is not making the grade.
I was doing good last time, so I just had to try.
Last time was like, I know this exact spell.
Yeah, you were killing it last time. It was good.
Me no either.
It's okay, I got it, guys. It's okay. I got it.
Okay. So as you sit there pondering the difference between the shard that you have, the one that was plucked from Zathia's temple, you get an idea that when that shard was pulled from the temple, it was bright in color. But only once the moon pearl was used did it go dark.
Sort of like it dispelled whatever magic was within the crystal?
Yeah, there is something going on with these crystals. And as you're sitting here kind of thinking, well, when these crystals enter someone or kill someone, does it store their soul within?
Oh, wow.
And the reason that Zathia's turned black as onyx was because her soul was stolen from it and placed back in her body.
So the one that was in the wood was blue as well?
Yeah, it was blue.
Charged with blue. But you can't steal the soul from...
It might have gone through someone.
Right.
Maybe. Oh. So are there other ones around scattered that are black?
No, most of them are usually like an aquamarine in color, which is almost kind of matching what they looked like before they exploded. So now you're looking at ones that have that aquamarine appearance, and then you have other ones that are light in color, like they're white or a buff colored, which is exactly the same color as the one that was plucked from Zathia's temple.
So there are blue ones and then there are white ones.
Yes.
Okay. So this is some high level magic and very unfortunate, but I believe the souls are being trapped within these crystals, and I'll compare the two and show my party. This one here has an unfortunate soul trapped within it. This one here had not captured one yet.
Don't say yet.
Yet. Very well put.
So, I'm not familiar personally of any spells that can return the soul besides the one pearl that I saw, and that's very high level magic. So I will try to find the cleric from before,
Okay.
the gentleman, if he hasn't gone too far.
No, he actually just returned back to the market square to help others who had fallen.
Okay. And I'll tell my party that we should consult somebody of higher level knowledge here.
Okay. All right, so you seek him out, and you're able to find him outside helping others. And he sees your approach, and I guess all of you are following Armos and Lunara out.
Yeah.
Okay. And he stands back up and says, hello again. Is everything fine?
Hello again. The crystals here have disturbed me rather deeply. I believe they are capturing the souls of the victims that have been struck by the shards. And then I'll show him the 2 crystals.
He looks at you and says, wow. So you're only showing him the light-colored one and the aquamarine ones?
Yes.
Okay, because you're not showing him the one that you plucked from Zathia, or that was plucked from her.
No, that is in my pouch.
Yeah, it's in his pouch.
Okay, very good. All right, and he looks at it and says, that is very, very dark. Maybe even necromantic magics.
Wow.
This is very, very peculiar and also extremely dangerous. He says, I will instruct my acolytes to walk around and make sure that those light-colored gems are collected. I will have to talk with my one of the archbishops in the church to see if there's any way that we can bring these souls to rest. And
right.
He calls over 2 young acolytes, and you hear him in common explain to them what is happening. And he says, and he also tells them that even if they are actually in a dead body, go ahead and pull them from the dead, because we need to collect every single one of them.
I'm not sure if this would help, but if there would be a way to keep track of which crystal came from which body, it might be important for the ritual that has to be done in order to lay these people to rest.
He thinks about it and says, I don't know. It would be almost impossible. It would be completely impossible to return the souls to the bodies. This spark of life has definitely left them. And we don't know how long it's going to take to actually free them from these crystals. He said, luckily that you were able to understand their purpose in time. If we had not, who knows who would have collected them and for what nefarious purpose.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I agree. It's
how do we know he's not the one that wants them?
Well, you could do an insight check.
Yeah. But that would be your character. Unless you said that out loud. Did you say that out loud?
Okay, unfortunately, you were not able to read him very well. So it's very inconclusive. You're not sure if he is the evil mastermind behind all of this, as you may believe. But I'm
trying to figure out, because last time we had gotten a translator and they said that the things were like, oh, this is from our enemy or whatever, a message from our enemy. But we had come to the conclusion that our enemy's not smart enough to use magic, or they just don't like magic.
Right.
Right.
So it was someone else.
Right. Yeah, that is
Trying to
true.
think of who that would be.
Yeah, that is true. In most barbarian societies, other than shamanistic magic, would probably be looked on with suspicion.
Right.
And
So
sometimes
we know
even
there's
fear.
a
And this
We know-
definitely is not shaman magic.
No,
Right,
this isn't shamanistic magic.
so we know it's third party, and we know that it's necromantic in nature.
Yes.
So we'll keep that in mind going forward in order to, infer who's our enemy, who's our secret enemy.
The secret enemy. Yes.
Yeah. The Thieves
right.
Guild. Always there, always watching.
Okay, so you are able to help determine which gems are the ones. You show those acolytes how to determine which ones are possessive of someone's soul. And while you were doing this, you see that Alistair and the children are walking up to you. And Alistair walks over and approaches Lunara and says, young lady, I cannot thank you enough for what you did for my little girl. And you see that Zathia is she doesn't understand what is going on. She did not understand that she had actually died. So it's she's kind of puzzled by everything that is going on, where Jorth is very, very cognizant of what had occurred, and he is kind of looking on Lunara with a sense of awe that she was able to bring Zathia back from the dead. So Lunara just looks and says, it is my great privilege, my lord, that I was able to deliver her from such an untimely and unwarranted demise. And she just gives Zathia a smile. And Zathia, like I said, is just so kind of lost in what's going on that she just gives a kind of a weak smile and just holds on to her father, who is still carrying her. So it probably takes a little bit more than probably 2 or 3 hours to finally collect all of those shards. But you have a sizable amount of shards, being that if we look and see, let me find out a little bit more. What was our... I have so many different... Yeah, the end result were 23 citizens were killed.
So 23 souls.
Yeah, 23 souls, while 75 were injured.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a pretty significant attack.
Was it 25 minus 2, or is it 23 minus 2? Because 2 of us died and came back to life.
No, this only counts the ones who are truly still dead.
Gotcha. 23 dead and gone.
Yeah, because it would have been 25 if they hadn't been able to get you and Zathia up.
Yeah, well, I got me up. I saved myself from the
Yes,
grave.
you did save yourself. That is true.
And then somebody healed me, so that was cool.
That is true.
Yeah, so these crystals, they're like Pokeballs?
Well, I wouldn't say that, but yeah, it's not like
So-
you just can't say, I choose you and chuck it on the ground. And no, it doesn't work like that. Thank you, Armos, for trying.
Are you sure?
I'm gonna take an empty one and hold on to it. I hope you know that.
Okay, that's fine. You know what would be interesting? Roll an intelligence check, Armos.
Oh God.
Oh.
You know what would have been interesting?
Let me just take my glasses off because I'm not smart right now.
Only the smart people get to wear glasses, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I'm keeping my eye on then.
You need to put on another pair, you genius.
Okay, so actually, Athena, if you will make an intel check, because you might also see the purpose of these stones or these shards.
How about the owl?
That's
How
not an
smart is the owl?
intelligence saving throw, right?
Yeah,
No.
it's like an
It
intelligence
is
saving
the
throw.
saving throw.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's kind of like a savings throw, yeah.
Do I
You
push the
just-
saving throw button or no?
Just click on intelligence.
Yeah,
At
just
the
click
top.
on intelligence.
The regular intelligence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is great.
It's the same number.
Oh, okay. So Athena,
Am I better?
yeah.
I
So
did better.
Athena, you're actually thinking that even though it's it would definitely not be of your what you would consider good and right, but you were thinking a dagger made from one of these shards would actually be able to trap the soul of the person it killed.
Let's pick up a few more of those cards, though.
Now, of course, you can't use the ones that already have a soul trapped in them.
Right.
Well, no, but
But there's a lot of shards laying around that
yeah,
were not.
there's a lot of shards.
No
Okay.
multi-shard occupancies.
No, it's one shard per person per day.
Charged extra for late checkout.
Right. Exactly.
I was actually thinking, if we just had a shard for every enemy we encountered and just kept stabbing everybody,
We don't know what they do after you capture the soul.
That's true.
And
you don't.
especially if you capture an evil soul.
Put it in a volcano. It'll solve the problem.
Hey,
Sure.
it worked for Frodo, right?
Yeah. But I mean, I'm not going to stop her from collecting more. So,
oh, come
however
on.
many
You
she wants.
help the nymph collect shiny rocks. You're not going to help me collect shards? Come on.
Well, if you want me to help you, I can help you.
Let's get
How
more.
How many you want?
I don't know. However many we can fit in our pockets.
Oh,
How
my
many we
Christ.
can fit in our pockets?
So we got 23 that were had souls. But
Right.
imagine there's 5 shards.
Isn't the cleric taking them?
The ones
I mean-
that have actually are bright in color are being taken by the cleric and the acolytes.
Right, so we're not holding on to the ones with the souls.
Right. You're holding
So
on
we've
to
got
the
lots of room for other non-soul occupying
yeah.
shards.
Well,
You're actually holding the ones that are still aquamarine in color.
All right, then she said she wants as many as possible. So
Okay, so over a 2-hour period, you're able to collect 89 different shards that would be usable for daggers.
Nice.
have fun carrying that, and I'll hand over whatever I got. I don't even know.
You don't even know.
Scattergun. Scattergun.
Blunderbuss.
Crystal
Right.
bus?
Flintlock. Blunderbuss. Jesus
Also,
Christ.
really quick addition. I do not have a problem with firearms in this in our game.
Oh,
So, but of course, we're looking at primitive, and we are definitely going to be using 5th edition rules for them, with maybe some additions to them. I don't really know. After looking, I still have to play around with it, but I'm not adversely either one way or the other. If somebody wanted to maybe try to figure one of those out. All
Invent the
right.
gun.
So, by the time you all have done collecting all the soul-stealing shards that you could possibly carry in your little bags, it is getting dark. The dead have been carted away to their respective houses of worship or not worship, and the injured have been either sent to makeshift hospitals or actually other houses of worship that handle the sick or injured.
Is there Is there a specific place that they're taking all fallen soldiers? If any soldiers fell?
Well, yeah, there were, of course, soldiers, and they are taking them to either the Temple of Pelor or Hieronius.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
All right.
so are you all returning back to the Armored Badger?
I would say that's a good place to go after a day like that.
Okay. Lunara is still with you, and she asks, would it be possible if I'm going to try to see if there is a room in your inn as well this evening? It would be a very long walk home, and I actually do not live in the city.
Was this the witch?
Yeah, that's Lunara.
I'm gonna tell her she can go ahead and take my room.
And she looks at you puzzled and says, I'm sorry, Apton, where is it that you will stay then?
I think I'm going to walk around a little bit before heading down towards the temple area and see if there's anything else I can do to help. And I'll probably find accommodations there.
She looks at you and gives you a little smile and says, thank you so much. You're so kind. And she says, well, that's... she reaches into her pouch. She has a sort of a purse-like thing, and she hands you 2 vials of healing potion. And she says, if you find anyone else in need, here, these might come in handy.
I will make sure they go to good use, and I will place them in my bag.
Okay. So you head off into the night. There is an increased presence of guards and soldiers, so you may, of course, be questioned about what you were doing out, but that's probably something you'd be able to handle definitely on your own. So, Athena, Armos, and Lunara end up heading into the inn. You find there picking up and cleaning up is Fordar, the half-orc barkeep and owner of the Armored Badger. He has sort of an eye patch on one eye, being that he lost an eye due to the explosion. And he looks up and waves to you and just puts a hand up like so. He says, "Evening. Y'all look pretty worse for wear. Can I get you anything?"
Good evening. No, I think we're doing all right. How are you faring?
He said, well, I've been better. Yeah. And he just kind of lifts up the eye patch, and you just see this kind of gaping, seeping wound sort of thing. And you see Lunara walk over to him very briskly, and he sort of steps back a little bit. He's you probably have a general idea that he may be a little superstitious. Witches are not always looked upon favorably in some communities. And she stops and she looks up at him and she says in the Orcish tongue, or a tongue that he definitely recognizes, being that none of you all speak Orcish, and you hear her converse with him, and he lifts up the eye patch one last time, and she reaches back into her pouch, and she brings out a little metal tin, and she reaches in and she sort of just scoops out some of this salve and places it actually in his eye socket. And you hear him at first grunt with pain, but then you see a smile sort of cross his face, and he's like, "Oh, I feel so much better now. Thank you, miss." And she just she just pats him on the shoulder and says, "It's okay. You will get better. I wish I could replace your eye for you." And he just smiles and says, "Thank you for everything that you did." He said, he continues to clean up and straighten up the dining room, and Lenara returns to you and says, "So, I guess it's off to bed. It's been kind of a rough day." And she looks out, and she can see Moontalon is staring at her from one of the shattered windows. And she looks over and says, in a language you do not understand, and you see the bird fly off. And so you all head up to your room. Apton, you pick your way through some of the shattered parts of the market square, and finally make your way back over towards the Temple of Cord. You don't seem to be you weren't accosted or questioned, but you definitely saw that the presence was of the troops was definitely real. You find, even at this late hour, you see that there are people coming and going out of the Temple of Cord. Some are injured, but definitely look more like they've been on the mend, that they have definitely been cared for by the local clerics in the temple. So
I will look for I have his name written down because I wrote it down.
Good.
If my computer will open it.
General Alabaster.
Jonathan Swift.
Jonathan Swift. So yes. So you find him. They have actually turned the sanctuary of the temple into a makeshift hospital. And there are probably about 5 or 6 injured here. And he is walking around making sure that water is being brought to them, wounds are cleaned, and healing is being administered.
I'm gonna ask him if he needs any more assistance with anything.
He's like, Father Apton, it is so good to see you again. Yes, if you don't mind. I hate to impose. I know you're on a mission, and I thank you again for taking the tome with you. But yes, if you don't mind, if you could take care of that young woman over there. She has several lacerations due to those crystal shards. If you don't mind, I'm sure you don't have a problem with extracting or taking shards out.
No. Just make all your acolytes aware that if they do find any shards in any dead, to bring them to the cleric in charge of the Temple of Pelor.
He says, of course. So far, we haven't taken in any of the deceased. This is definitely just a field hospital setup. Hopefully we will not have anybody in our charge fall. But yes, we will definitely do that. He looks kind of puzzled that you would say that, but I guess it's totally up to you.
I'll tell him. I'll tell him that we are under some belief that these may be soul shards. And if they are black, then they're empty. But if they are glowing, then there's a good chance that there's a soul stuck inside of it.
He's visibly shaken back on his heels at this knowledge. And he's like, oh my gosh, that's absolutely terrible. What sort of fiend would do something like this?
The same one that would kill innocent women and children.
It's like, yes, I'm sure. So you get to work, and you work until late or probably about mid-morning. probably 3 or 4 in the morning before you are absolutely overcame with exhaustion, and you kind of just slump down next to one of your patients who is sleeping soundly. And I need you to make a will save.
Will save.
Yeah.
Will is wisdom?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
Do me and Armos get a long rest?
Yes. Okay, so Apton, what ends up happening is you end up falling asleep and fall into a very, very deep sleep. And you will get a long rest from that, as well as Athena and Armos, you also will receive long rests for that. Okay. So, Apton, when you wake up, it's actually about mid-morning, and you find yourself sort of laying on one of the pews there. You'd been moved and covered with a blanket. So,
you're almost nice and snuggly in the blanket.
Little Stuart.
Stuart Little. Yeah. Okay, so so Athena and Armos, you wake, and you actually, when you do wake up, you smell that there is food cooking down below, and
breakfast.
Yeah, and so you all get ready, don your clothing and try to clean up as best as you possibly can. You didn't get a chance to really do that the night before. You just kind of
my makeup.
You were just so put on your makeup.
I'm not even kidding. That's a requirement for my daily disguise self.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're still in disguise.
Well, it says it requires. Well, not this one. One of my spells requires makeup.
Okay.
Friends. A small amount of makeup has to be applied to the spell. For the spell. Yep.
Okay.
So it's probably just like foundation. I don't want to have mascara.
Nice. Okay.
Although I could. I don't know. So yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll chit chat and entertain and be friendly with Lenara, but not with the end goal to be sleeping with her, I guess. Like friendly as in I'm never gonna see you again, but if we do, I want to be friends.
Okay. Yeah. So so by the time you all make your way down to the inn, Lunara is already sitting there. And Moontalon is perched on the windowsill at the broken window, one of the broken windows. And every once in a while, you watch her sort of toss a piece of meat up to him, and you see him grab it with his beak, and so you see that there are a couple of other people here. Actually helping in the back as Fordar is trying to board up the broken windows in his business. And as she watches you walk down, she says, "Oh, good morning. It is so nice to see you all. Did you rest?"
Good morning, Lenora. Yes, but I got a lot of good sleep.
Good. You all definitely needed it after what you had to go through yesterday. Apton, are you making your way back over to the inn?
I will. I did send Henrik to see about getting those 2 teeth turned into necklaces. I think I might try stopping by whoever would be, the armorer, I guess, maybe, and just seeing if they were able to do that at all with all the crap that happened.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because, with all the destruction that occurred, you're not really too sure what had happened or... did you drop the teeth off with the armor?
Henrik, I had him take
Henrik
them.
did. That's right, you did. Okay, very good. So, as you walk back to the inn, you pass by and you actually find the armorer's area there, and it is up and running. But you can see that part of the stall got kind of damaged, but the owner looks no worse for wear, and he looks at you and says, "Ah, good morning, Squire. How may I help you?"
Good morning, sir. I had some of my men drop off 2 warg teeth to be turned into necklaces.
Ah,
I
yes.
was just wondering.
Unfortunately, I didn't get really much of a chance to do much yesterday, but I did hit them this morning, and I think you will be pleased with what I was able to come up with. So he hands you a small wooden box, and as you open the lid, you see that the warg teeth are in there, and they have woven cords, and they are connected with a copper wire.
Very nice.
Yeah, so it's you can see that it is definitely good craftsmanship.
Very nice. I've got another task I might see if you might be able to do. It's a very sensitive one, though.
He says, "Of course. What can we do?"
I take the shard out of my pouch and I hold it up to him. And I say, "I need you to make me some sort of weapon out of this."
So you're handing the shard that is the
black one.
The black shard.
Yep.
Okay. He looks at it and says, "It's a little bit too small to be a dagger, but a stiletto. It would definitely make a very good stiletto. If you leave it with me, I will try to get to it by the end of the day."
Very good. Just be aware that it does have some magical properties to it, so be gentle.
He says, "Of course."
And
he says, he looks at it and he says, "So, construction of a hilt, pommel for it, looking at probably close to 30 gold pieces, so."
I look at him and say, "Money will be well spent."
He says, "All right. Well, I'll try to have it done by this evening."
I will be at the... Oh, God, I wanted to say Bearded Badger, but that's not right.
The
Badger...
Armored Badger.
The Armored Badger, thank you.
Right.
I'll be at the Armored Badger if you want to send word to me when it's done, or I'll just try stopping back by here when I head my way back to court this evening.
He says, "That's fine, sir. I'll try to make sure to get it done for you." Okay, so you drop that off and you make your way over to the Armored Badger. And once you walk in, you can see that Athena and Ormos and Lunara are sitting at one of the tables enjoying a light continental breakfast.
I will I'll go and sit down with them and grab something to eat. And are the children down or no?
No, you haven't seen them yet.
Okay. Then I will sit and eat and just kind of just hang out and...
Okay. Probably about 5 minutes after you arrive, you see Stephen Vance, the Alistair's adjutant, make his way down the staircase, and sort of gives you a weak sort of wave. You can see that the attack from the day before has definitely left a sadness upon the young man. And at that time, Henrik walks in and looks over to you, Apton, and says, "Sir, it looks like we got everything for the most part squared away. I did end up having to replace 2 of our teamsters, unfortunately. Actually, I think there was only 1 left, wasn't there, other than Heinrich? Because I think Athena drove the last cart in, or the middle cart in last time." Mm-hmm. So, he says that, yes, I was able to get us a few more teamsters for our continued journey. And he looks and he says they should be along shortly.
Oh, very good. I look at Athena and Armos, and do you guys think we should still stay here another night, or should we try moving forward ahead of schedule than we had planned?
Well, it's late morning now. What's the next town that we have to travel to, and how long will it take?
All right, well, let's take a look at our maps, and we shall
Looks
see.
like it's Terlesian.
Yeah, Terlesian.
And it's probably like a day and a half ride.
It's probably closer to more like a little bit more than a day's ride, yeah.
Okay, so we could knock out the half a day today, and then 1 more day of travel, and then we'll be there. Yeah, we should depart. I'd say early this afternoon.
Well, I am waiting for something from the armorers, so I cannot leave until that is finished. But as soon as that is there, then I can be ready to go. As long as the kids are ready to go, if they are still planning on traveling with us, and if their father is following.
Okay.
So, as you're discussing this, Stephen walks back over and says, "Good morning. So, I couldn't help but overhear you talking about the continuation of the journey. I did talk with General Alistair last night, and he has already seen to it that there will be a detachment of soldiers mounted will be actually escorting us home. So, and that means you as well. Of course, we're all heading in the same direction, and you've done so much." And as he says this, you sort of to kind of gauge what others at the table are thinking, Apton, and you see Lunara sort of sitting there, just sort of staring, and she seems very, very interested in what Stephen is saying.
I look at her and say, "Are you interested in joining us, or do you have plans of your own?"
She says, "Well, Apton, I would, if it is okay with you and your esteemed party here, that I travel to at least as far as Chendl. I have some business that I need to attend to there. All I have to do this morning, of course, is put some protections on my home. It wouldn't take me too long to get there and get back, especially during the day. If that is something that you could maybe mention to the general."
I'll tell her that she's more than welcome to join us on our ride if he doesn't agree with it, because with what she accomplished last night, it was definitely, it would be beneficial to have her on our side.
She says, "Yes, I would like that very much." And you see Stephen looks and says, "I'm very sure the general will not have any problem whatsoever having the young elf travel with us. He spoke at length about her last night, as well as about you all. So when I see him this morning, I know that he is already up, He's just waiting for his children to rise.
Well, I don't have anything to do here in town, so Armos is immediately just going to be interested in joining Lenora.
Keep it in your pants.
So, I'm gonna ask Lenora, where is she from?
Oh, she says. She says, well, she kind of looks. She looks up at you with a little bit of a smile, and she says, "Actually, I'm a local. I was actually raised in the orphanage here in Barduk."
Oh, wow.
Yep. Said I was here until I was 50 years old.
And then what made you want to travel?
Well, I didn't really have a lot of options. What happened was, while I was an orphan at this orphanage, there weren't too many other elven children. And so I hate to say it, but I was definitely mistreated by not just the other children there, but also the staff.
It's very unfortunate.
Okay.
They should not have done that to you.
Yeah. So she says, if it had not been for my little feathered friend over there, and she points to Moon Talon as he eats part of a piece of ham that she tosses to him, said, if it had not been for him, I do not know where I would be today.
Cool. I heard you speak with the owl earlier. What language did you speak?
Well, actually, I have the ability to speak with animals. And so I was speaking in his language, but it was so very interesting when I first met him. He was able to speak to me, but he was speaking through my mind.
I'm going to send her a message and say, I can do that too.
She smiles and gives you like a little wink. And she says, well. And so what ended up happening is I escaped from the orphanage. Actually, I ran away.
Right.
Yep.
Anyone in those circumstances would feel compelled to get away from. So when you say you're returning home, I hope you're not talking about that place.
Oh, no, definitely not. I have my own place.
Oh, okay.
Yes. It's not too, like I said, it's not too far away. If you wish to accompany me, that would be wonderful. You get to get a chance to see what it looks like.
Awesome.
Okay. So, Apton, I know you're kind of waiting around for your shard stiletto.
I also need to go back to Jonathan and see about getting that letter if he was able to get to it.
Right, of course. Athena, what are you up to? Are you getting ready to pack and pretty much...
I have smith tools. Would I be able to make my own hilt for daggers?
Oh, God. Don't do it.
You would... do you have a weapon making skill? I don't know if there's a weapon making skill in 5e.
I don't think they've got it, but she has... Well, anytime you get a tool set, I guess you're proficient with the tool set.
Okay. Well, that's good. All right. So, you can... if you can find a forge and a crucible... I mean, if you have the tools, I don't think those would be the types of tools that you would come standard with your toolkit. But and you would also need
just use like a fire, like a campfire, for the fire part. Okay.
If you're just making hilts and pommels and things of that nature, you could. Usually, you'd need a pretty high heat to be able to get metal or steel or iron up to a certain temperature. I'm not going to get into the mathematics or the science of it, But I will say that you would have the ability to do so.
Yeah. So you said you have Smith's tools.
Yeah, smith tools allow you to work metal, heating it to alter its shape, repair damage, or work raw ingots into useful items. Smith tools include hammers, tongs, charcoal, rags, and a whetstone. Repair with access to your tools and an open flame hot enough to make metal pliable. You can restore 10 hit points to a damaged metal object for each hour of work.
Yeah, because usually that would probably be the hard part, because you would need to be able to get a fire that would be hot enough, which means that you would need probably charcoal and a bellows.
So the basic rules of D&D, the basic rules book does have crafting in it, and it says you can do 5 gold piece increments each day. So however much value of an iron dagger handle would be, as I guess the third a cost of a dagger, because you can't do anything with the handle. You're not sharpening, I guess. So
right,
whatever a common dagger is.
Yeah.
In 5 gold pieces.
I would say, being that you've never used them before, I would probably set the DC, the difficulty, to 15. And I would say, yeah, that would probably be it.
What does that mean?
So that means you'd make a roll of 1d20. And if you got a 15 or higher, you would succeed. Now, of course, the more times you do it,
right,
the easier it will become.
Well, I've got 89 shards to work with, so. But I guess what I'm looking for is, like, do I need any, like, certain materials to use that I need to, like, buy?
Yeah.
So that I can, like, work on the road with it.
Yeah, most likely the hilt, you would probably end up making it from some sort of wood. The guard for it would be metal, so you'd probably need to get a couple of ingots or two. The pommel would also, that's the back end of it, would be metal, and you would need leather to be able to wrap the handle. So
okay, so where do I go to get that stuff?
You would probably be able to find most of that in the market square. Now, of course, there's going to be a chance that those places may have received significant damage from the attack the day before. So that might be one thing that you'll have to address. I'm going to say that you have at least a 50-50 chance to find what you were looking for. If we hadn't went through an explosion, you would have had 100% chance to be able to find what you were looking for.
Well, if I can at least find enough to make one, then that'll get me started, and I can make one between here and the next town.
Okay. Alrighty. So let me go ahead and I will see what our percentage is here. Okay. So let's see. I rolled a 51. So it was a 50% chance. I should ask you high or low, but that's okay. I'm going to get... yeah, of course. Imagine that. Okay. So, yeah. Yeah, you were able to find all of the items that you require.
Okay. How much did that cost?
Let's see. The cost of that will run you about 8 gold pieces.
8? Okay.
Yep.
Just a heads up, if for some reason we get disconnected, we are having a bit of a storm outside my house right now.
Oh.
I think I hear it.
Oh, no.
Oh, you should have heard it the other night.
Yeah.
The lightning happened like right outside. It scared me. I started screaming.
Yeah, 8:30 they got disconnected, so...
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh,
those are the legendary thunderstorms we get.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I used to live there.
Yeah.
It knocked
our
out
cold front here.
Our internet, but not our power. So that was interesting.
Oh, yeah, that's a bummer.
It struck the server.
Yikes. Okay, so you're able to find that, and if you'll go ahead and make your roll a d20, and if you make a 15 or better, you will be able to craft one of these daggers.
All right.
I'm looking up bullets too,
That's not working.
just in case you wanted to craft some bullets.
Let me try on here.
Apparently, they're really cheap. A bundle of
Nope,
10
that don't
is
work
23
either.
gold.
Yeah,
my God!
you actually had a critical failure. So actually you shattered the crystal. I'm sorry.
All right.
Just grind it up into dust and pocket sand it.
Well,
Did the handle survive? Or did the handle
No. She goofed it up so badly that she actually with a critical failure, she lost all of her materials.
Dang. Did
I'm sorry.
all right, then I gotta go buy more materials. Can I buy more materials?
Yes, you can.
All right.
Okay.
Buy more materials.
Okay,
and...
so it's going to take some time to do that and everything. So
No, I know. I'll
yeah.
wait till we're on the road before I try again.
Okay, very good. Okay, so
you gotta have a forge.
Forges
Right.
would be good. At least some way of being able to heat the metal, and maybe an anvil so you can flatten the metal.
One of the party members here is pretty good at controlling flames. If you asked him nicely, he might be able to get the flames hot enough, but that's pretty hot heat.
That's some pretty high heat. That is.
Yeah. But he's not here right now.
That's right. Yeah.
He's getting treatment.
Freaking out.
Yeah, so much for that. Just friends.
Hey, it was just friends until she was like, I want to join y'all to Chendl. And I was like, well, all right then. Target locked.
Game on.
Game
Target
on.
locked. Okay, so Apton, what are you doing during this time?
I will go back towards the Temple of Cord.
Okay.
And see if there's anything else I can help with while I'm still here, and check in with the people I helped last night, make sure everybody's still doing well and I didn't leave any infections or anything. And
okay. Yeah, when you walk in later on, you find that there are not as many people here as there were before. Patients. You see that there's just a couple left. Father Swift walks over to you and says, Father Apton, good morning. I hope you slept as well as you could on those hard pews. We tried to make you as comfortable as possible. You looked exhausted. He says, thanks again for all of your help yesterday.
Oh, I slept well. Thank you for having room for me. And yes, I was exhausted, but the good work never stops.
True. He says, the letter, you came to pick that up.
And also check in, make sure everything's all right.
Good. He says, well, everything is much better here today. And he says, and I do have that document. And he reaches into his robes and pulls the document, the sealed document. And he says, thank you again for offering to take this for us.
Absolutely. I placed the document in my pouch under my robes, and then I asked him, and also about the letter that I for my redemption to talk about with.
Yes. Yeah, he says, definitely. I also wrote up something for you, and I would like for you to reach out to the Archbishop in Chendl when you get there. And we'll see.
Marriage pitch.
Yeah. So if you are able to do that. I think he will be able to help you.
I will make sure that is at least on the top 5 things I do once I get there.
He just chuckles and says, "Oh, I'm sure. I know you're very, very busy. So I wish you the best of luck, and may Cord be with you."
And with you, brother.
And so you start making your way back to the towards the inn. Armos, you and Lunara are walking with, from what you can gather, to her home. But as you find that you are actually leaving the city and entering a very, very thick wood just to the south of the city. You see that there is a pathway, but it is very well hidden. And only after you actually get on the pathway do you realize how well hidden this pathway is. She leads, and as she leads, she's still talking with you and stuff. And you can, every once in a while, you hear Moontalon making his presence known in the trees above you.
I'll be mostly talking about what kind of magic she likes. Show her, magic that I have. Yeah. Continue walking.
Okay. So, you continue along. She shares with you that she is, actually her magics come from a patron, like most warlocks. And so she is definitely of that of that profession. You see as she's making her way through it, she's obviously made this trek many, many times, and as she does so, every once in a while she'll stop and pick certain flowers, certain herbs. If you make an intelligence check, which I know you don't particularly care for. Oh my gosh, wow. I'm
really listening.
Yeah, you're actually listening. And as she stops and picks up some of these flowers, she explains to you their medicinal purposes and things that she uses them for. She said, when I first came out here, I was, like I said, I was 50 when I first made my way into this forest, and I was actually being led by Moontalon to my new house. And as you're looking for this house, and you cannot find a house anywhere. There's there's nothing out here, and you're waiting for the shoe to drop, wondering, what is this lady talking about? Where finally you see a gigantic tree standing in the middle of this. It's probably the largest tree there. And there's a ton, it's a very dark, dense forest. And you see the owl perch above or on a branch, not too far away from the tree's trunk, but very high up. And you see a hole in the tree there. So you're thinking, oh, that's where the owl must be nesting. And so you finally get to the base of the tree, and she says, well, here we are.
Wow, it's impressive.
And she takes her staff and she raps twice on the side of the tree, and you see this, the tree splits, and behind it you see a it's a wooden door. And she says, well, do you want to give it a look?
After you.
So she reaches over, and there's a handle and latch, and she pulls it open. And you see that this is a very large space beyond. It's very impressive.
Is it bigger on the inside?
It's very big. Yeah.
Cue the music.
It's Time Lord technology.
Are there a lot of elves and cookies, or
No,
no? It's
no,
not the Keebler
no,
tree or whatever.
no. But when you walk in, you realize that the inside is it's very it has a polished wood look to it. And if you make an arcane knowledge check, maybe it will. Oh, okay, yeah. You're looking and you're saying, okay, this is definitely was made with a maybe a warp wood spell, or it has been fashioned this way.
So I'll look at her and surprised once I realize how it was made, and I'm gonna ask her, "Did you make this like this?"
She says, no, unfortunately, I did not. It was a gift.
Oh wow, the craftsmanship is amazing. Do you know who made it?
I do indeed. Said many, many years ago. There was a druid. His name was Zenithil. And Zenithil was fighting a bugbear in the forest nearby, and he was almost killed. And I heard the fight, and I came to his rescue, and he was able to defeat the bugbear, but unfortunately he was injured so badly that he would have died if I had not found him. And so I brought him here, and I brought him back to health, and as a gift to me, because at one point in time I was living in a little 10 by 10 hole in this tree. And now you're looking at almost close to a 30 by 30 foot space.
Wow.
Yeah, it's much bigger. And yeah, she said at one point in time, this used to be just filled with spiders and crickets. And I slept in that little hole for about 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a rough existence. So she grabs a couple of pouches, which you notice are herbs and some vials of different types of salves and potions. And she loops them over her shoulders. And she gives one really quick look around. And she says, well, Armos, thank you very much for walking with me all the way out here. Are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go. This place was amazing.
Said, yeah, I hope maybe one day I'll be able to return to it. And she shows you back out to the forest. And as you turn, she walks out. She takes her staff and taps it on the tree one more time, and the bark folds back over the entrance.
Wow.
She says, she holds up her staff and says, without the staff, I wouldn't be able to do that. The staff and the tree are one.
Oh, okay. So my staff won't work.
No, unfortunately, it probably won't.
Okay. Fair enough.
So you all start making your way back to the city. And she tells you a little bit more about her life and things. And I'm sure Athena was for sure that you were going to be waylaid and tied up, and it was going to be a 50 Shades of Armos.
She shows me
He
her
has a
wood,
thing
I
about
show her mine.
following pretty women.
Yeah.
50 Shades of no.
50 Shades of not today. Alrighty, so yeah, you finally make it back, but it did take some time to get out to this place, and you were kind of wondering if you would ever be able to find it on your own if you had to. It was very well camouflaged. So so by the time you get back, Apton, you are able to go by and pick up your new dagger, or stiletto actually. And Athena, you were able to get enough supplies to make at least 2 of those along the road.
Butcher it.
If you don't completely botch it, which I hope you don't. So
The more I practice, the better I'll get.
that is true. That is so true. Alrighty. So When Apton, when you finally make it back to the inn, you are met by Henrik again, and he introduces you to the other teamster, whose name is Darren Moss. Darren, he greets you and says, "Sir, thank you very much for having me along. I am a accomplished teamster, and I will make sure that we have everything loaded and ready for you. I heard that I will be driving the cart with the young lady who was killed."
Zathia.
No, I don't believe it was a child.
Helenta.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, is he driving the cart that she was in when she was alive, or like we're taking her dead body somewhere?
Yeah, because she's being returned.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's being returned home.
Gotcha.
So yeah, when everybody gets back to the inn, you see that Zathia and Jorith and Alistar are talking with teamsters and making sure that they have all of their personal belongings in the cart. And the horses, you see the horses for Stephen and Alistar are brought up, as well as you see 4 other soldiers, mounted soldiers, have joined the entourage.
Okay, I'm gonna remind Apton to make sure he's preserving, where he needs to. I don't know how long his spell lasts.
Do what now?
Don't you preserve the dead?
Nah, bruh. That's your ex-girlfriend.
So they're pretty much decayed by now. Got it.
Well, no, I mean, there's certain preparations that Alistar was able to make sure that, because there's other people, in town who could do the, I believe it's called, I'm trying to remember the name of the spell now.
Gentle repose.
Gentle repose. Very good.
Preserve this mother. Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. So, you are loaded up and you are ready to go.
Yeah.
So, are you?
I'm gonna go up to the kids, and I'm going to hand them each a necklace.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell them to remember the first. Well, to remember our journey.
And Jorith looks at you and says, "Like we could forget this. It has been quite an adventure."
Stupid.
He thanks you, and Zathia also thanks you. And they put them on their neck, and they're sitting there kind of looking at them and fiddling with them. And, So the teamsters get up into their carts. And so being that they were only able to, as I'm checking my notes here, they were only able to find one other teamster. Athena,
Nice.
you are going to have to drive the middle cart.
I thought you said you picked up 2 more. I thought we had 2 when we came in, and if we got 2 more, we'd have 4.
Well, no, you lost. Unfortunately, you lost 2 of them. I read my notes wrong, unfortunately. So you really only have Heinrich and Darren.
Yeah. We have Lenora.
Yeah.
We have her, and she's good with animals.
That's true, too. So, I mean, she could probably ride along with Athena to help with the driving.
And you only need animal handling if you're trying to calm an animal that is distraught.
Right. Or upset or trying to murder you. Right, exactly. So, you are able to do that. So as you travel further west away from Barduk and the front, you find yourself on the Royal Highway. Now this is a spacious road with the ability for carriages and carts to pass each other. So every 20 miles, you find a guarded tower along this road. So you have a really good, comfortable feeling that there's not really going to be a lot of hobgoblin incursions as you get further and further away from the border, and that there is definitely there is protection along the road. But also on top of that, you also have four mounted soldier escort along with Alistar and Stephen. So you feel a little bit more at ease. So this is how the carts are broken up. Henrik and Apton are in the first cart with mostly gear, supplies, things of that nature, and the things that are supposed to go to the king of Firiandi. In the second cart is Athena, Lunara, and the children, and whatever gear that they brought with them, or personal items. In the back is Darren and Armos and the body of Helenta. Now, Helenta's not just like, just sitting there or anything. She's actually in a coffin. She's in a box. Yeah. It's not like she's just, they just threw her in the back. This isn't Weekend at Bernie's,
Hey, if we did Weekend at Bernie's Part 2, get some voodoo going.
I don't think I ever saw that one.
That one was a little bit trippier.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so as you approach the first, let's see, let me roll some dice here. Unfortunately, as you are approaching the first guard house, or the first guard tower, Heinrich looks over to you, Apton, and says, Father Apton, sometimes, if we might be very lucky, there are usually traveling merchants that set up around these towers. If you feel that there may be some gain to be made from it, just let me know, and I'll direct the carts to stop if you like.
To be honest with you, Henrik, with all the stops and everything that's happened, even being a day ahead, a half a day ahead, it's I'm not too interested in stopping much more.
He says, I completely understand. And so you all continue on. So,
how far are the carts from each other, approximately?
Usually about a cart's length. So you're looking at probably about 8 feet.
Oh, okay.
Between 8 and 10 feet. So, to kind of give you an idea, it takes you 5 days to ride to Chendl. You arrive in mid-afternoon and pass through the gates to the city, but instead of going to the royal castle, the carts are led to an estate west of the capital. I'm going to get you guys back onto... So there is Chendl right here. Yeah, you're led to an estate west of the capital. The sprawling grounds surround a beautiful castle. Outside, by the front entrance, the servants have assembled, as well as a very nicely dressed woman wearing a gossamer green formal gown. Formal dress. And once the carts stop, the children pile out and run up to the woman in the green dress. Her smile and body language immediately belies her relationship to the children. From what you can gather, this is probably their mother, Lady Millicent. Alistar and Stephen dismount, and Stephen takes the reins of Alistar's horse. Alistar approaches the woman as the children make their way for their father, and Alistar takes the woman in his arms and lifts her off her feet. After a prolonged hug, Alistar slowly returns his wife to the ground, and she looks around, and her smile falters as she asks, "Where is And you all had this sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach. It says, Alistar and the children grow very quiet. Are you all getting out of the carts?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm gonna get out and.
I think I'll deliver the bad news. Being that I'm the most charismatic, maybe I can find the best way to say it.
Most charismatic, but can't sell shit.
Yeah.
Don't be a card salesman.
So I'll introduce myself and give her the unfortunate news.
So as she looks around, and like I said, and her smile falters as she asks that question, and you approach, and she looks at you, kind of puzzled, and she looks around very quickly, and she looks over to Stephen, and who cannot bring himself to even make eye contact with her. And again, Millicent turns to Alistar, and with tears welling in her eyes says, "Where is she, Alistar?" And then what are you going to say? You're now like right there.
My condolences, Lady Millicent. She passed away due to an attack. She died a hero. She saved your son from an explosion.
You see her, I mean, she just goes pale, and the tears immediately begin to flow as she turns to Alistar, and she says, and she cries out and says, "Where is she? Where is my niece?"
She's in a box in the back.
She's in a box in the back. Jeez. Gosh.
In the trunk with the other dead bodies.
We'll have a weekend at Bernie's if you want to see her again.
No, I think that would be cruel, dude. So yeah.
Give her some headphones. Come on.
You see she breaks and runs. Alistar, his eyes shift to the last cart and then slowly back down, and his wife runs to the cart and throws back the tarp and opens the lid on the box and stares, unfortunately, into Halinta's into her face, and collapses onto the cobblestones below. Alistar and the children run to her, picking her up and moving her past the servants, who are now moving to unpack the carts. They pick her up and move her away, and Heinrich and Darren and Stephen unload the coffin in which Halinta lay. So, you all are it's kind of a rough, very touching sort of moment, and it takes a couple of minutes, and Millicent collects herself finally, and she comes to you, Armos, and she says, "Thank you so much for letting me know." She,
of course,
you can see she's just, yeah. Can you roll it'd be a charisma check, I think, more than anything.
Good.
Sort of like,
God damn it.
A what?
God damn it. I'm not.
I thought you were good with
am I?
charisma.
Yeah.
Oh,
but I knew that was gonna happen. I knew right now, in this exact moment, that I'd be like an ugly crier, and it would just make it horrible.
Look, just don't sleep with her, all right?
I wasn't gonna sleep. Oh my god.
Okay, so, yeah, so as you all are standing there, Lunara steps out of the cart and is standing behind Athena, and Alistar looks and says, "If it had not been for this young woman right here, we would have had two bodies in the back of that cart." And Millicent said, "Who else would have been in that cart?" And then you see Zathia walks up and grabs her mom's hand And Millicent knows immediately once that happens. And she walks past and to Lenara and says, "Thank you so much for watching out for my daughter. I don't know how to repay you." And you see Lenara is just, she doesn't have her normal, it's not a blank face. You can see it's a face of caring, but it doesn't have that smile that you usually have seen her with over the last 5 days. And she bows deeply and says that it says to Millicent, it said, "Ma'am, it is my great privilege to have helped your daughter." And so the servants start to sort of corral you and start moving you into the house. And Alistair looks to them and said, "Please make sure that these fine people and their teamsters are placed in the best rooms this evening." And you see a very well-dressed man, older gentleman, who you kind of figured it might be a butler or maybe a manager of the house. He says, "My lord, I'll make sure that they are definitely taken care of." And you all are shown to very, very beautiful rooms on a 3rd story in this manor house. And you all are set up for like I said, you arrived in, I think it was late afternoon, I think I said. I think that was the way it was. Let me check. Oh, yes, mid-afternoon. So, but yeah, by the time you get there and get everything situated, you are at dinner is served for you all. Being that they are the household is right now in a period of mourning, everyone is taking their meals in their rooms. So you are in your rooms. And but you have free reign. You're not like you're locked in or you're a prisoner or anything like that. You can actually walk around and also explore the grounds if you wish to do so.
I think you know where I'll be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't even gotta say it.
Okay, so
Trying to open up her hut with your staff.
She showed me her wood.
Ouch.
Anyways, yeah, I'll be walking around and exploring a little bit, getting a little bit of the lay of the land.
Okay. Yeah, you notice as you were walking around and looking out some of these windows, there is a vast garden just to the south of the main house. And it is, and in the center of it is a huge fountain, it's a pool with plants and things around it. It's a little overgrown. It looks like they're probably in need of a gardener, but probably with the war going on, gardeners might be kind of hard to find, especially if they're sending all able-bodied personnel or men to the front.
Get some goats, man.
Get some goats.
One druid and they'd fix it all.
Yeah, all it takes is one druid.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. So
it's worth 60 gardeners.
Yeah,
but you can't eat a druid.
You can eat what a druid makes.
If you're a bear, you could eat a druid.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Or a schmanimal.
So, yeah. So you all spend the time taking in your environment, seeing how comfortable the beds are and things of that nature, and sort of enjoying your dinner. Armos, you leave your quarters and start making your way over to try to find where Lunara is. And after some time, though, you realize you're not really too sure where she's at.
Somebody put a bell on the witch.
Bell on the witch.
Which way did she go?
So you actually spend probably a goodly amount of your evening trying to track her down. And you're not really too sure where she has made off to. Unfortunately, you're not really too sure who to ask where you can find her. And as the evening gets further and further down, you're thinking, okay, she has to be somewhere in this gigantic house. But if you...
I feel like she would go somewhere out into Mother Nature, right?
Well, she may or may not. You don't really, I mean, you only known her for a couple of days. Well, no, you've traveled with her for about 5 days, 6 days now.
Right.
So you
So
kind
I
of
would
got
know
a
if she's an outdoorsy person or...
Well, you know she definitely is. She is definitely one of those types who goes out into nature and picks herbs and medicinal plants and things of that nature. So you're thinking she may have actually just walked out and who knows where she might be.
Well, I would look outside and I would be looking for her owl as well.
Okay. So go ahead and do a perception check. Okay, very good. You do not see the owl, but you do see something or someone traveling through the overgrown garden. But you really are unable to pick because they're behind the weeds and bushes and trees there.
I'll get closer.
Okay. So when you finally make your way to the garden, yes.
I'll nope, fail stealth.
So you trip into the garden. You actually catch your foot on one of the on a vine and go spilling forward and catch your foot.
Do it for the vine.
Yeah. And I need to, let's see, high or low?
Low.
Unfortunately, you fall very, very hard and you hit your head on an exposed piece of masonry and you have been knocked out.
You got knocked the fuck out.
That's just nice. I didn't get acrobatics. I just...
Well, no, with a 4 stealth, and I mean, I guess I could go ahead and give you an acrobatics. Go ahead, let's see.
It's a -1 anyway.
Oh Jesus!
Or wait, no, my athletics. Is it an acrobatics or an athletics check?
Let's
athletics is strength.
Let's go acrobatics.
Acrobatics. Okay.
Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, you hit your head. You are not knocked unconscious, but you are definitely hurt. You are bleeding. You are going to take 3 points of damage from that.
Son of a bitch, that hurt. Okay.
And at this time, unfortunately, you are unable to locate the person that was walking in the garden. But
I'm going to call out in pain.
Yeah.
Ow.
But what you do see in this garden under some of the overbrush and or the vines are 3 gargoyle statues.
Creepy.
Yes, very much so.
Don't blink.
Don't blink.
What's the
Oh wait, that's
non-meme
angels.
version?
Never mind.
What's the non-meme version of I've fallen and can't get up?
Just Peter Griffin going.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I'm gonna make that noise and see if anyone comes to help me.
Okay, let's see if anybody comes. No, unfortunately, no one came to save you.
What is it? Ow, my leg.
My leg.
Okay, so
right, I'll just stand up like a moron that I am.
Okay, alrighty. Are you going to make your way back to the manor house?
I'm going to the hospital.
I'm going to the hospital. That's good. Okay.
Yeah, I'll clean myself up a bit back in my room and
Okay.
I guess just stay there.
Okay. So you all bed down for the night and get ready for a hopefully a quiet evening. And about probably around 2:00 in the morning, Apton, I need you to make a perception check.
Must be important if I'm the only one you're relying on.
Don't pick on
Oh,
him. He's got the
spoke too
best
soon.
perception. Oh, wah, wah.
Okay, so unfortunately, Apton, you are not woken by the whatever it was that would have woke you. So, unfortunately. Well, folks, it is now 8:31, and
Ricky gotta go to work.
And Ricky gotta go to work.
I mean,
so
I got some time, but yeah. It's
So-
time for us to go.
it is time for us to go. So I'd like to thank you all very much for our people who visited us in chat this evening. I think we had a few folks, which was really nice. Hopefully you enjoyed our session. We did not get into any combat tonight, but I will
Are you
give
kidding
you.
me?
I will.
fought that rock.
You fought that rock.
Yeah.
I'll give you a teaser. Next week,
Ricky's gonna die to the rock.
There will be blood.
Oh no!
So, yeah. So
Not my blood.
definitely be prepared. So
And
thank.
to level up.
Oh, that's right. Make sure to level up between now and next Sunday. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Very
folks,
good.
we all saying night.
Have
Good
a good night.
Yep. Night, everybody.
Good night.
Join us next Sunday, 6 p.m.
6:30.
6:30.